Hello, and welcome to Living History. We're here again today to talk to people who've lived in Longmeadow a really long time. And we have with us today Brewster Sturtevant, who indeed has lived in Longmeadow a long time. Third grade, tell us that great historic event when you were in third grade.
Third grade,
Just love this.
the Hindenburg flew down the green. And I can't remember whether it was the next to last or the last voyage of the Hindenburg to the United States. And I have a feeling it was the next to last. I did hear that it made 10 crossings in its schedule prior to, or 9 crossings prior to the final one when it crashed or burned. And but it did fly down Longmeadow Street, and Miss Hicks, who was the principal of Center School, paced off as only she could pace it off as a 6-footer.
She was 6 feet tall?
She was darn close to 6 feet tall. And we all looked up to her, I'll tell you that. And she was a good basketball player, too, and she played boys' rules.
Well.
And anyway, she put a stake in at the south end of the green and measured 804 feet, and that's how long the Hindenburg was, and put another stake in the ground, which was, as I remember, up somewhere near the junior high school. And from the south end of the green, that far was the length of it, and it looked like it filled the whole green when it flew overhead.
Now, were there trees the way there are now on the green?
Yes, but probably there are fewer now than there were then.
Oh, okay.
The elms were in trouble at that point, and
oh, right.
we still were losing some elms, and but it's pretty much the way it was then. There are fewer trees, fewer tall trees, but 38 Hurricane took care of a few of them too.
So I don't want to leave the Hindenburg,
right.
especially for people who don't even know what it is. But
the Hindenburg was
like how
German,
high was it?
Probably about 1,000 to 1,500 feet up.
So
because it was flying for show.
So it wanted to be low enough so you could really see it
and make a spectacular sight, which it did. And to a third grader, I can still remember it vividly.
Oh, I bet anybody could.
Yeah. That saw it. It was noisy, and it was.
It was noisy?
Well, I mean, what, 6 or 8 engines on this thing that drove it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it just floated.
Oh, no, it had.
It's filled with helium.
It was filled with hydrogen.
Oh, hydrogen.
Which is why it burned. Helium is non-flammable. And
we
controlled the helium supply for dirigibles in this country.
What do you mean?
Because we had the chemistry to make it.
Oh.
I mean, to take the gas and produce it.
So this was filled with hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
And then?
Which was the other lighter than air gas.
And then, how did the engines make it go?
They were hanging below, and just how does it make an airplane go?
Well, that to me is a total mystery.
Well, forget the jets.
How's a bumblebee doing? I don't know any of this.
Yeah. Well, it's all the same sort of thing, but yeah, they're the motive force, and the air goes past the propellers on the engines that are hanging below the blimp, below the dirigible or blimp. So
the concept with this technology was that it was going to spread and carry passengers.
Yeah, well, it did. I mean, they were carrying passengers back and forth.
Oh.
And it went faster than ocean liners. And it had not the carrying capacity of an ocean liner, but certainly the service was as good, or as they tried to sell, better than an ocean liner, more gracious.
More gracious.
More gracious. I mean, these were sterling silver services in the for the 30 or 40 passengers that were on these
Really?
things. Yes. And staterooms and everything else in the cabin part of this.
Oh, for goodness, I didn't realize
Yeah.
that. And no seasickness. Oh, I
Could have
guess
been
air
yeah, I mean,
sickness
those
could
things-
be, yeah,
those-
right.
They could
Could be
float.
bad.
They could float pretty badly, but you get used to it as you get used to the sea eventually.
So then, very shortly thereafter.
Yeah, and it may have been a week, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks afterwards. And I have a feeling this was
That
the
it
next
blew
to
up.
last that it caught fire.
Over Lakehurst, New Jersey.
Yeah, which is where it was landing.
Hello, welcome back to Longmeadow Living History. Today we're happy to welcome Crawford Lincoln, who's lived in Longmeadow quite a few years and has been well known around town.
The South Park area over to Converse Street. And there's some wonderful stories because we were out on the playground in 4th grade when the Hindenburg came over.
Oh, you did?
And this
Yeah, Brewster told us about that.
this was the Millionaire's Flight.
Oh, it was?
If you look it up on Google, the Hindenburg and the Millionaire's Flight, it gives you the exact date that the operators based in Germany had taken aboard a blue ribbon list of high rollers to try to interest them in Zeppelin travel. And it was foliage time in New England, so this was the feature that took them over Converse Street School, and we all ran from the school following this thing all the way till it disappeared over the Connecticut, and we were by that time at King Philip Stockade and thought we better go back to school. Well, we heard about that when we got back because we never should have left the playground.
I know.
We were
but
told.
how exciting.
So that was.
So the Millionaire's Flight was not the one that
Oh no,
blew
no,
up.
no! This was
Caught fire, whatever we had.
promotional tour they were offering.
All right.
but that
You
was.
were part of the promotion. Those darling children down there.